Welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing Case Park in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. This is a disc golf park designed by Avery Jenkins. 18 holes, par 54, 4,500 feet from the shorts. These are the tee pads. They are awesome. Each hole has one tee pad with two baskets. We're playing to the whites today. So hole 1, 221 feet, starting off nice and easy. Just going to go with like an off-speed reactor here. Not much in this fairway. There's like a little tree that, is yet to grow up to be a real obstacle, it seems like. And then there's that bigger tree that you can see. Its silhouette. That is about pin high. Actually, that's deeper than pin high for sure. That's but anyways, simple, straightforward little 221 foot hyzer shot, lefty or righty. Great warm-up hole. And the long is on the right side of that tree at 306 feet. A little 2-on-1 action here.
I kind of snapped it off my finger.
Little flex shot out of Andy. Hyzering out a little early. Yeah, super fun course. There's lots to do in this park. Tonight the wind is really down. I think it's in the single digits, which definitely makes this round shoot a lot easier than normal. Yeah, my reactor pretty much parked. This is my first time playing on these disc golf park baskets. Zero complaints. Good baskets. On to hole 2, 285 feet. You got OB sidewalk on the right, and then the Arkansas River about 40 or 50 feet beyond that if you really turn something over. This tree here is blocking the hyzer line. Playing a little turnover with an Envy and just counting on it, hooking up and not staying on Annie all the way to the ground over by the cart path. Andy playing a little flex shot, hyzering out a little early. So yeah, the short plays a little bit of an anhyzer, a forehand hole. The long's 358 feet. And just kind of straight at that bigger tree. So I did find my way down to the ground here.
Go for it if you're ready, or I'll take it.
Outside the circle. Putting with my old bullets here. Going out of town, I just packed a bag and threw my recently retired bullets. So it was nice to be intimately familiar with my putters again. Hole 3 is 230 feet, sidewalk on the left, river on the right. There's a couple of holes that play in this kind of slim strip of land. You can see the basket just past this tree in the foreground on the right side of the trunk. I hit a little rock that's kind of on the middle of this. This fairway is kind of a ridge. It slopes down to the right, down to the left. And I hit this weird rock that was just poking out at the top. Caught a weird little bounce. Luckily it settled. It's a nice shot out of Andy here. Flirting with OB and the ceiling all the way down. Yeah, luckily I didn't filter OB. It was very close. There's a basket down there, just 230 feet. This has, yeah, too much angle on that one. Upshot out of Andy. A circle 2 putt for a birdie here. Almost. Yeah, that sidewalk's within 20 feet to the left for sure. Hole 4, back on the other side of the sidewalk, 269 feet. Couple of little trees blocking the low hyzer, so I'm going to go high hyzer here. Flirt with the sidewalk, but I know this reactor's going to come back. And I did not hang it high enough to the right. That would be a good line if I was throwing something flat and straight, but on the hyzer line, I'm about pin high to the left, I think. Straight to turnover line, not adjusting.
As much as I wanted, but it's down there.
Yeah, so there's the basket. That gentle hyzer line's blocked. Well-placed trees that are gonna grow up to be an awesome part of this hole. And he's playing a little flex line around him.
Dude,
Well done.
exactly what I wanted to.
It's actually a little past pin high here. Flirting with that next tree. Almost got in my way.
Thank you.
Hole 5, 212 feet. I would say this is the tightest hole on the front nine, maybe on the whole course. Because you've got the sidewalk on the left again, pretty tight, river on the right. So I'm just throwing an envy, forcing it on Annie to make that gap as big as possible. And just putting it down on the ground, not trying to get too greedy here. This will be a really easy 3 as long as you hit that gap. Unless you throw OB, it seems like, at least with the wind down like it is tonight for us, unless you throw OB, 3 is always in play. And even if you throw OB, 3 can be in play if you get close enough to the pin.
I just want to get up to that little mini tree line right there. I can get a 3 if I can do that.
Yeah, super fun course. It was nice to just get out and stretch the legs after driving up to Tulsa from DFW. Long car ride. On our way to the DDO.
Okay, I'll take it. Okay, I gotta.
See, Andy found himself right at those trees.
Andy, what are you throwing?
Got me a new Ricky Wysocki glow harp.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, Mountain Sports. I don't like the Texas for all my disc golf needs. Oh, this really does fit. That's really
Just tap it in.
tap.
The bags are packed. Send it home.
Go to your home. Dang it.
Money.
That's par.
Yeah, luckily we kind of had the park to ourselves tonight, so we weren't annoying with our ridiculously bright flashlights from Phoenix. That caught a lot of the basket and still didn't go in, but that's all right. Easy 3. So hole 6, 242 feet. Again, we got the river on the right, sidewalk on the left.
Don't mind Andy's profanity.
Pretty much straight ahead. I'm going to go off speed with my reactor again. The long basket is kind of down to the right. So the fairway is pretty manicured going towards like 1 o'clock. So I'm just fluffing the reactor kind of down at like 1 o'clock and playing the hyzer back towards the basket because this too is kind of on like a ridge. If you could even call it that. I mean, there's maybe 7 feet of elevation change on either side of the fairway. A little high. Actually, the height was good, just a little too turned at adjusting. That could have been going places. Yeah, nice flex out of Andy. Too understable, though. It ended up filtering all the way down to the riverbed. Here's where I ended up a little bit past the pin. Let's see, there is notable elevation change, but not too much. And I airballed it.
That's not good.
But stayed close. Easy 3. On to hole 7, 224 feet. We're thrown under the roadway here. The map on UDisc isn't quite right. It's a little more to the left.
How far is this one?
I can't quite see it from this camera angle. It's pretty much right behind that upside down U-shaped branch. And you're thrown over this little creek. You pretty much just want to miss the trees. Gentle hyzer with something with some stability. For backhand, you could even do like a little flip forehand. I'm actually shooting this little window on the left side of the main tree in the gap here with my Envy, and I accidentally yeeted it a little bit, so instead of hyzering out early off speed like I planned, I kind of turned it over and sailed it deep. And I almost put it too high. There are some water pipes on the underside of this bridge that will catch your disc if you hit it up in there. And it is very difficult to get them down. I think you have to wait for the wind to blow them down. I'm not really sure. But yeah, gentle off-speed hyzer or like a Firebird. Getting just through the gap, working left. Justin is going to be dry and safe. He's kind of on the other side of the bridge, but you get a nice reaction and just dropped. If you kick, it could be tricky. Andy made the right play, just a little Annie, something stable. So there's my Envy and the blue basket. So I threw the perfect line for the long. Here I am at my lie, looking back at the short, so definitely put too much on it. Justin almost saving his 3. That's where Andy's landed. Well, there's me, my little up. I'm just going to take my 3 and get out of here. Andy's looking at a 2. Oh. Hole 8, 212 feet from the short. This is a really interesting hole. Recently, someone trimmed a bunch of these branches. I'm not sure if that was good or bad, but you can see the fresh cuts. You just want to throw something. It's a really similar shot, actually, to the last hole, but without trees to miss. Just a little off-speed, straight, with a break towards the basket, and I accidentally grip locked it high.
Dang.
And I kicked hard. Hard enough, though, that it ended up being okay. You just don't want to be in the wrong gap under the bridge, because if you accidentally go where I went, but not as far left as I am, you will end up with next to nothing. So yeah, Justin sneaking it down there.
On the dance floor.
I'll have a look at a 2. Yeah, I ended up so far to the left, I'll have a forehand pitch up around the backside of that. But if you're square behind that concrete wall, you're hosed, because there's no gap between the wall and the bottom of the bridge. Andy with a PD3 in his hand. Little correction, switching to his glow freetail. Big difference. Little flex shot, and I thought he was going to ace this for a second. I know you couldn't see it because he was in the way. He put it on a perfect Annie. He barely missed the concrete, and it hooked up. See, I put the camera where you could see the basket and kind of how it's positioned. I am pinched though. I'm just throwing a zone forehand. And I couldn't believe it was good.
Really?
Hole 9, 248 feet. Going back into the roadway again with the creek late in the hole. You do have the sidewalk on the right and sidewalk deep. So I'm surprise, going with the reactor again. It's flying good tonight, so I keep going with it.
No, you're good.
And I'm about edge of circle, deep left of the basket. The sidewalk is quite a bit behind, but it's definitely there. You don't want to throw something too straight at the basket because you could skip long. Justin going fairway. A little bit early release And it is his turn to park the long.
It's under the blue. That works. Yeah.
Hey, if we ever played the
He was
Blues,
telling me before we played this hole, that's exactly what he
so far, I'm
did
freaking loving this course.
last time he played this. Parked the long. Which it's just more to the left. It's not actually longer because that sidewalk limits how long it can really be. My tripod is standing on the sidewalk, just for reference. Woo! Yeah, no wind. Nice flat ground. And some putters that I know and love. Feeling good.
Now that we have some good light, let's just take a second to admire these. Freaking awesome Disc Golf Park tee boxes with good tee signs, with OB rules, 2-pin positions. Sorry for the graininess.
Hole 10, 221 feet. I think this is probably the tightest hole on the back 9. Hard to tell at night. Maybe there's a gap that I completely missed, but I'm just going off speed with the reactor, not flirting with the ceiling, not flirting with the sidewalk OB on the right, just playing the skip kind of towards the basket because it slopes down into that kind of creek channel. From what they were telling me, I didn't stop to look down there after putting out to kind of see exactly what was going on down there, but I definitely fluffed my drive. Should have given it the height that Justin did. He just didn't go stable enough. But that disc is brand spanking new. He bought it about an hour before this round, so he's still learning it. But he gave it the right height for this hole, and he too high.
Saved me.
Center fairway.
It's good to end up center cut. So I'm almost pin high, kind of edge of circle. But you can see it kind of drops off a couple feet behind the basket. So I'm just laying this up, getting another 3, and getting out of here. Hole 11. This might be the shortest hole on the course. It's hard to see the basket because of the backlighting in this video, but when you're on this tee pad, you will be able to see the basket. I promise. Very straightforward. A little bit of a ceiling to contend with, maybe 60 feet short of the basket, but very straightforward hole.
Can you hold that light for me, Justin?
If you feel like this doesn't explain it well, you'll not be surprised when you walk up to it. It'll be like, oh, there it is.
Oh, wow.
What was that?
Yeah, I threw mine a little too hard and too low. I went past the basket. Andy's was perfect. He landed just short on the hill and let it kind of absorb the energy and slow it down.
All right.
A little overcorrection with that disc from Justin. So yeah, there's Andy's 2. Worked out quite nicely. And I'm about 25 long. Letting him clear it.
How dare he?
Shout out to Live Oak Brewing, rocking their t-shirt right now. Doinked it off the band. It's Andy's box now, going into hole 12, 289 feet. Kind of a tunnel shot. You could hyzer around that tree that Andy actually hyzered in front of. Could throw a little flip up forehand. Throw straight. I threw it too straight. Could have put it on a little bit of hyzer. Ended up catching that last tree you'll see on my next lie. Caught that last tree and got some nice friendly ground play curling away from it.
What was that?
It's the Yeti or goat, not sure on the pronunciation from Castoplast there. So yeah, that tree that my shadow is on, that is what I hit, and it gave me a nice little boost away from it. It does slope slightly down behind the basket. Tried to give it like a spush, half run, and missed. But it's not too much of a slope. It didn't stand up and roll, luckily, so I stayed close. Got another 3. Hole 13, 237 feet. Low ceiling, short of the basket. It is on a slope that's covered in dirt, so I think the perfect play is to just throw something hard and flat and straight and land kind of between those 2 trees and then just scoop. And I fluffed it short and left. Landed it on the grass, which just grabbed it and stopped it.
Between the trees and scooped towards it.
Now I have like a little 70-footer step putt at it.
Are you guys trying to let me get a stroke here? Well, y'all put a big light out there.
I think this is a cax out of Andy.
Alright.
Edge of circle. Just left of that flashlight's center beam here. So yeah, I'm about 70 feet with that little tree kind of right in the way. So I'm doing a little Annie step putt. Just putting it close.
Cool pump track here. There's lots of cool stuff here at Case Park, but this pump track looks legit. There's bleachers and it's lit up. I don't know if they do anything here at night, but it's rad. And it's right next to the disc golf course.
On to hole 14, 263 feet. This is the first hole on this course that I'm throwing something faster than a mid-range. I'm going Insanity, gentle, hyzer. I'm going for the off-speed because it's going to get more movement to the left than that reactor.
Oh, damn, that was a good
Put it a little too low, but I got a nice ground reaction with like a skip and a curl up the hill into the circle. Nice little flex out of Andy, working the ceiling nicely.
Oh, nice.
Justin making the correction off of my throw, giving it the height, and pretty much parking it. That was sweet. So tap in out of him. There's Andy's upshot close to the basket there. Here's where mine landed. Almost in tester range. And Andy with his 3. On to hole 15, coming the opposite direction, 260 feet. You've got that little hill kind of sloping down to the left. Nothing but space out to the right. You could throw the widest, highest spike hyzer you wanted.
Turn, baby.
I think this was reactor. Threw it a little too flat. I should have thrown it with more hyzer to get it closer to the pin. I just really didn't want to mess with like too much ground play and working down that hill. Just focusing on playing safe tonight. Having fun learning this course. Played it blind.
Nice.
The alpha out of Justin. I'm not sure how much ground play that got, but it landed close to the basket. You can see the dust poofing off of it.
I didn't turn that over near enough.
Should be an easy 3 for Andy. Yeah, he's right under the pin now for his 3. Sick putt from Justin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paces off to the basket. Nice.
I guess I'll take my par.
I don't know what's going on tonight. Putting pretty okay. Hole 16, par 3, 285 feet. What a cool hole this one is for being in a wide open field to have that. Granted, you have, big hyzer line for righties or lefties, forehand or backhand, whatever. Or the sweet tunnel shot. I don't know if this is ever played as a clown's mouth. Definitely make it more challenging. Justin putting that hyzer pretty close. I'm going with a longhorn here. First real full power shot of the night. And I got away with it. I thought I put it right into the canopy of that tree. And I hit that tree trunk. And got, again, decent little ground reaction curling off of the tree trunk. Give me a little room to work with around it. See if Andy gives us the straight shot. Playing up the left side. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks like a wooded tunnel shot in the dark, but it's a wide open field. So as long as you're not right behind one of these trees, you've got a chance at 2-ing this thing and definitely 3-ing it. Yeah, and I don't know the scoop, like if these trees are grabby, like if maybe there's a steeper spike angle or a grenade play, or really what the play is, but we both saw the wide hyzer line. Maybe that is the play, I don't know. But it worked out pretty nicely. Trying to get another 2. No such luck. Not good from the knee putt tonight. Nice 3 save from Andy in the background there. Hole 17, 396 feet on the long. It's 396 feet on the short. It's 565 feet on the long. Not gonna lie, I'm trying to throw a roller here. End up just throwing a really big backhand turnover. We've got a gentle tailwind, which I didn't really take into effect. How windy this spring has been, it just didn't even register. Shot ended up being good. It didn't turn into a cut roller. The disc stabled up and just got flat. It worked out nicely. Only OB on this hole would be sidewalk, which is way to the right.
Throw 2 and then drop in your
50-footer. My 2 and 2 won't be right towards the basket.
2 nose.
Nice shot out of Andy here.
Shiggle time.
So yeah, that turnover put me about 50-ish. Going with my lighter weight bullet, try and get some extra glide. Thought I gave it a chance. Not really, though. Hole 18, 258 feet. Kind of a mini clone of hole 16. You've got these 2 trees to split. Really tempting straight shot. You've got a decent amount of room on either side of the tree canopy to play the righty hyzer or the lefty or forehand hyzer on the left side. I didn't put that reactor on enough angle,
I was expecting it to swing a little more.
but I got it under the low ceiling that's on the right side. I think the ceiling is a little lower over there than the left side.
Headwind putt for sure.
That's what I thought.
Just for fun, after everyone threw, I threw backhand turnover with Svea, which is kind of like a Meteor or a Mako 3.
He was going for the player skill.
and it ended up in the same spot my reactor did, like this backhand turnover. I was trying to shoot the gap, but missed it. This is a fun little finishing hole. And all in all, this is a fun little course. I'd be interested to playing the longs, and I'd definitely be interested in playing it in the wind just to see how much that cranks up the difficulty with some of the tight sidewalk OBs on some of these greens. And again, I cannot understate these tee pads. They're far and away the nicest tee pads I've ever played on. They were awesome. So if you're in the neighborhood or passing through the Tulsa area, there's lots of great parks in town that are still on my list, but Case Park, super fun course. Check it out. Shout out to Andy for shooting his PB out here tonight. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you out there.